Alright, today we are going to replace a starter pull rope from which tore on this Craftsman lawnmower. The rope is somehow, it got torn up and it's inside, so we'll have to rewind this thing. So the first thing to take this thing apart, we need to remove the plastic cover off the top. Alright, this just comes off so easily like that. Alright, the next thing is, in order to get to the starter spring wound rope holder, whatever that's called, there's no way to get to it from the top, so we're going to have to actually remove the entire assembly. There is a way to remove the gas tank, but not remove it completely. We can just tilt it. You'll see in just a moment. And then we'll twist away the oil. Alright, so we're going to use a 5/16
to undo 3 bolts here.
Alright, so I believe there should be one more bolt at the bottom, or yeah, there is a bolt or a nut at the bottom, all the way right here. So we're going to take that off as well. So you'll need the 3/8 here. You probably don't need to remove it completely, just need to loosen it a little bit. Right, so this way we can just take the whole gas out of the way. Okay, so now we have exposed so we need to now loosen the oil. Sure enough, we need to use torque. Well, luck would have it, the fuel tank got disconnected, so a little bit of fuel leaked out. So it would be, I guess, important to keep an eye, make sure that the fuel tank is empty when you start this. All right. So got to be also careful. Keep an eye. Now, I did remove this oil access drain, but it came off. So there's a lot of dirt here. You don't want to get it inside the engine. So I'm going to keep it plugged in and just twist it away. So it does come off super easy. So the next step is to remove this top cover of the engine block. And if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be 3/8. Yes,
I was right, it is 3/8. Loosen the mower.
And there's 2 more on the front side of the mower. Alright, I'm not yet sure whether we need to remove this one, probably not. But I will not loosen it until I know for sure. To remove this top cover, you just tilt it forward a little bit. And supposed to wiggle it out of here. Oh, I'm going to. Oh no, I don't need to disconnect the spark plug. So here we go. We just removed the entire top of the lawn mower, the starter. So this is the starter rope spring. Unfortunately, we're going to have to rewind this. Going to remove this old cord, put another one in. I haven't tested yet. May have to see whether the spring is still good. Yeah, actually, the spring may still be good. So if you still have the cord in place and it hasn't completely unwound the spring, what you may want to do is put the screwdriver in just to hold this whole thing in place so that the spring doesn't get unwound. But unfortunately, I have to do the whole thing. Okay. All right, so we can just pull the old rope that tore out. Unfortunately, it's stuck. And by the way, not to waste money on the new one, found an existing old one, which we'll try to replace. Hopefully it's good. We'll inspect the actual cord, make sure that there are no rips, so just to make sure that it still serves. Alright, well, this rope is kind of stuck in there. I'm gonna have to wiggle it out of there, or maybe do some cutting off camera. Alright, so we're going to have to feed the rope in, but because the spring was undone at this point, because the rope broke inside, we're going to have to wind it up. Now, I calculated it's going to be approximately 12 revolutions of this, based on the kind of measuring circumference of this, and I measured that this whole rope is about 12 revolutions to pull it all the way back in. And the spring is going to have to go counterclockwise so that it will wind back up clockwise. Well, but we are looking from the bottom, so looking from the bottom, we're going counterclockwise, and I'm going to count 12 revolutions of this. Alright, so let's see, we'll kind of line it up. This is where the cord enters, and let's go 1, 2, 3, oh. Well, let's see, hopefully the spring holds. If the spring doesn't hold, we may be replacing the entire top of the engine.
Yeah, I replace it in the front end when the people come to pick it up and throw it away.
Alright, so 12 did not fit, but it is possible that this cord is a lot longer than, because it came from the other lawnmower. So I got it as tight as 8 revolutions. To make it easier, probably would make sense to burn the edge and make it a little like a sharper, because right now that's what I might have to do. Alright, let's see. Go ahead. Okay, it is going to be very, very hot. But now it's okay. Now it looks like a sharp angle. So let's try this again. And sure enough, it went right through. Now all we need to do is just tie a knot on this side. Could you let me just tie? Leave a small, very small tail.
We can cut it off.
I would make it as small as possible, so we'll save as much of the rope as possible. Perfect. Okay, well, if you hold it 1 second, I'll pull with the pliers just to tighten it. Perfect. All right, let's tuck this thing in there. All right, and let's hope there's enough revelations here, enough of the spring. Sure enough, perfect. Okay. So
Just you won't go ahead to, that doesn't have to go in all the way. It stops
no,
right here.
yeah, that's. And now we just put this whole thing back the way we took it apart. So again, gotta start at an angle forward a little bit because just like a little notch here is gonna be in the way. And this thing dropped in place. Fantastic. Okay, I have to make sure I don't forget to reconnect the gas tank later, but first I need to put the nuts or bolts. What are these? These are bolts. And again, starting with 3/8. And I'll tighten them later. Don't want to over tighten because we don't want to strip them.
I don't.
Now, these two top. So again, don't over tighten, just apply just enough pressure, just get a feel for it. Don't want to strip them, they're not that strong. We don't want to keep them loose either, because vibration from lawnmower could bring the whole thing loose. Okay, so then we are reassembling now this oil axis. So twist it back in. So remember, as I said, you don't want to yank it out because the dirt will probably fall into the engine. So just lift it slightly, put it in place. And we're back to our 5/16. Alright, so now it is time to reinstall the gas tank, so we have to reconnect it. Just very unfortunate that it just came loose so easily. So, oh, and the, well, gas is coming out, so let's see if I can push that right in before I tilt it back. Okay, may have to replace this hose later. Well, let's make sure everything else works. Okay, so the top is back. We'll later pull this rope up, but I think it should be safe to actually, before I do this, I almost forgot to tighten the oil holding bolt. So this top is plastic. You definitely do not want to over tighten this. In fact, I should probably switch to this. All right, now it's in place. This thing's connected, and remember that bolt at the bottom, which we need to retighten again. The one that's holding the tank. So again, it holds plastic. I want to be careful not to over tighten it. All right, so there I've reached the, and I probably put in like 1/16 of a turn. Okay, I think we are almost ready. Now we need to reinstall the top cover on the engine. Just feed the pull start handle. Okay, I think I found that sweet spot where it fits or not. And put the top screws in. Just make sure you find where it goes in. Okay, and the last thing is we need to get the pull handle through this loop right here, and the only way to do it, we gotta loosen this nut right here, and that is going to be 7/16. I think this should be enough to get the cord under. Oh, maybe a little more. Yeah, that should be enough. And now to pull this through, press on the handle. Get it through, and now it's almost done. Now tighten that nut back. Okay, doesn't need to be too tight. I think we're done at this point. That should be, the job is done. Whether this start is a whole different question. There may be more problems with the lawnmower. We're about to find out. Yeah, just pump, give it a couple of pumps.